Yo, 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 what's going on at the fight? Well, this your boy Money back with another one, man. And this one here is going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one. Y'all give me 1 second, fam. Yo, is it messing up, y'all? Yo, is it messing up, y'all? Like we got no shot. Yo, is it messing up, y'all? Like we got no shot. Queen, what's going down, Queen? All right, all right. This cat, he knows. Queen, we gonna get into it. You feel me? Yeah, we back, big money. We about to do this debate. Thank you so much for that, my brother. Thank you so much. That's my first super chat. Blackface Sports. You the first one to super chat me, bro. Yeah, kind of. I was tripping, talking on mute like a mama. Really groove. What's going down? Ernest McClain was going down, fam. I don't know what you're talking about, Dakota Woman. Or Charlo. We'll get into that. Can you hear me now? Yeah, I was mute. Yeah. Oh, I'm about to send it to you. Don't worry, I'm letting people get up in here. Beats Instrumental, I appreciate that, my brother. Says, salute, Money. Love the content. I appreciate that, man. Much love, much appreciated. Oh, we finna start up. Give me another about 5 minutes. Let some more people get in the building. But I'm dropping the link. That's for damn show. Get in the building. I'm gonna drop the link right here on the in the chat. It's only for him. Only for you knows. Nobody else hit that link. Coming right now. All right, we at 50. We can get it going. That interview was awesome last night, bro. I appreciate that, Felix known as my brother. Thank you so much. Much love and appreciate for the support. They say time heals. The link in the chat, he knows. Charles Granger, what's going down, bro?
What's up?
Kwame, what's going down, bro? Much love, much appreciated. Salute Big Step, send love for VA, no doubt. So everybody, we got the debaters in the house. Money Brown, he knows the sports. And I'm gonna let y'all know what this debate is about.
Hold on. Hey, you hear me, bro?
Yeah, we hear you. Loud and clear.
Hold on. All right, you can hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
A little bit? All right. Let me get the mic on.
Can you hear me?
Oh, you can't hear me.
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
This joker usually a lot louder. Hey, you can hear me?
Yeah, we hear you perfect. Can you hear us, bro? Yes or no? Turn that camera on. What's going down?
Yeah, I know. I don't know why you come. You're not coming in loud.
I heard you. Hey, keep it real. This ain't that. Nobody else is getting in, bro.
Yeah, I see your gums. I see your gums chopping, but I don't like. I can't hear you.
I don't know. Go back out and come back in.
I'm not. I'm not like a. I'm not in a. I'm not in a still spot. I'm like moving. I'm driving and shit. So, but
So you
still,
can
I should be hearing you loud and clear. I can't hear you loud and clear.
so you telling us you can't hear me?
Yeah, say something, money, bro.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, okay, I hear you better.
You hear me now?
A lot better. Hold on for a second. Let me do this real quick.
Yeah, I know. Cool. I can hear him loud and clear. He's saying he can't hear me.
Hold on.
Bluetooth connection success.
Yeah, say something, money, bro.
Yeah, we hear, man.
Okay. All right. We'll just go with that.
All right, now listen, y'all. I dropped the video on Errol Spence saying Jaron Ennis is the next Errol Spence, right? Say I'm comparing him to Errol Spence in the come up. Now I'm gonna let y'all listen to what he knows had to say about the situation. I'm gonna let him cook, and then I'm gonna give my rebuttal. And I'm gonna keep my ass quiet while he cooking, and he gonna keep his ass quiet while I'm cooking. But first, I'm gonna let them hear this, and that way we can get it started so they can know what we're going about. Everybody, listen up, listen good. Ever come out of motherfucker's mouth? That's the dumbest shit you could ever fucking say. And it basically takes away credibility from you as a boxing aficionado. Because boxing aficionados don't repeat dumb shit like that. They don't repeat bullshit like that. And they don't repeat fuck shit like that. Especially when a motherfucker hasn't done enough heavyweight lifting, the notion, or heavyweight lifting to showcase that. That's the nasty underdog. That's the cut. So the fashion, when it's all said and done, like I told you before, and I'm gonna tell you again, you went from top 10 to not even diction at all, dog. You fell the fuck off. Because any motherfucker that's gonna run their rabbit ass mouth to sit here and say that Jaron Boots Ennis, Jaron fucking Boots Ennis, a guy who, when it's all fucking said and done, hasn't done anything noteworthy to even be compared with the likes of an Errol Spence. It's a things that make you say, It's a things that make you say, And it speaks coonish, buffoonish, sellout, fucking behavior for subs and fucking views. That's nasty. That's the good. So the fashion. I keep the foot on. All right, he knows that people get what you're saying about what I said. Now the floor is yours. And beautiful, beautiful yours. Thank you so much, Queen. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, my question to you is, what drew you to the conclusion that Jaron Boots Ennis is the new Earl to Spence?
It's no question to me. The floor is yours to explain why he's not, or whatever you got towards me and what I said.
It's a debate. We got to go back and forth. I'm asking
Yeah,
you a question.
yeah. It's no question, right? I just let the people hear what you had to say about me and what the video I put down. So now it's on you. The floor is yours to tell us, right? What was your problem with Monty Brown video, and why Monty Brown is a sellout for clicks and views, and whatever you got to say, bro. The floor is yours.
I got you. The floor is going to be mine, but I asked you a question, though.
The floor is
I don't
yours.
mind when the floor is mine. I just asked you a question because I can't go unless I get the answer
I
to
will,
that question.
I will rebuttal that after you go and I go, and then we can go. But the floor is yours to explain. We heard what you said about me, right? You said that it's crazy for me saying these things. So the floor is yours, bro.
I don't mind going. I just need to know what conclusion made you get to that point where you basically said erroneously that Jaron Boots Ennis is the new Earl to Spence. I just need the answer to that, and then I'll go.
My conclusion is on the come up. Errol Spence and Jaron Boots Ennis on the come up. There you go.
So he's Earl to Spence on the come up. That's it. Like you don't have any reasons why you drew that conclusion.
I will say all that when the floor is mine, bro. The floor is yours, bro. Go ahead and tell me.
I need you to give me more, man. You gotta
No,
give
I'm
me
not,
more
I'm
on
not
that.
going to give you more when it's my time to go, bro. The floor is yours. He knows. We just listened to your video, your rebuttal, what you said, right? You said that I got to be the stupidest motherfucker. I'm out of the top 10, all this shit. The floor is yours, bro. Handle your business. Go ahead and rebuttal on why you saying that what I'm saying is bullshit, right? And why he ain't
I
this, he
get
ain't
it.
that.
I get it. I get it. I get it. We on your live. I get it. We on
Bro,
your
it
live. You
ain't
want to
about being on
control
my line, bro.
you
It's a
not being
debate.
able to answer the
It's
question.
a debate, and it's on you,
But
bro.
let me just say this real quick. Let me say this real quick.
I just answered your
You
question,
want to
bro. What are
control the
you looking
fact that
for?
you can't answer that question. You didn't answer the question.
Bro,
You just basically
I just gave you
said
my answer, bro. Could you go ahead and go?
what made you come to that conclusion. But you didn't give me an answer. You just told me the Earl of Two on the come up. I need something so that I can counter it.
What do you mean you need something to
That's how
counter?
debates work. You got to give me something.
You already said, you heard my video. You already said, you seen, you the one coming out saying some shit.
In my video, I made it very clear. In
All
my
right,
video, I made it very clear
all right. Well, we're gonna do
that
it different.
Jerome Booth Ennis
All right,
shouldn't be compared with Earl the Two Spence.
all right. Well, I'm gonna take the floor first then. Since
But
you
you got
think
to
I
tell
want to
me why.
drag you through,
What?
I'm gonna
You
take
got
the
to tell
floor
me
first, bro.
why. What
Listen,
allowed you?
listen. I'm gonna
All
take
right,
the floor first.
cool.
You get the floor since you want to play some games and all this shit now.
I'm not playing games. You just got to explain why you came to that conclusion.
All right, y'all. Now check this out,
You the
fam.
one that said that Jerome Booth Ennis is the new Earl the
Listen.
Two Spence. So you
All
got to
right,
tell us
all
why.
right, all right. Listen, I'm taking the floor first. Hold your peace. I'm gonna go first, and then you go. Since you want to get on her, and now you don't know what the fuck you want to say now. All right, now check this
All
out,
right.
everybody.
Oh, Jaron, yeah, he can fight, man. He sure can do. Sure, I like him. Sure, flashy. You know, got creative. He can fight. Oh, fighting? I mean, fight. Anybody who give him opportunity. I mean, especially at this stage in his career. Just basically, fight anybody who's going to give you opportunity. And, whoever got, the best name to fight. All you got right now. They're not lined up to fight him. So, you got to fight way up to, that. Everybody got to be, making you feel good, saying, I'm not right, saying like that. So, hungry line, so you got to fight for this guy out there right now. I don't know if, how will Jaron, take a shot, but, this shit can hold up, and he can hold up. Like, I think he can hold up. I got Jaron beating, beating Sean Hill. The way he took the fight.
Now, as y'all see, girls, how you feel about Boots? Jerome Boots Ennis. Jerome Boots Ennis. I feel like he's not getting I think he fight tonight, right? Yes. I feel like he don't get the credit that he deserves. And we talk about a lot of fighters that walk away, but we don't talk about him. And I think that he's gonna be a problem. He's a problem right now.
All right, y'all. Now I made a video, everybody, saying Gerard Bruce Ennis is the next Errol Spence for us on the come up. Now, when Errol Spence was coming up, I want y'all to listen to me. It took Errol Spence 5 years from 2012 to 2017 to become a world champion, right? It took him 7 years to unify against the fighters that he wanted. He wanted Sean Porter, he wanted Keith Thurman, he wanted Danny Garcia. It took him 7 years to get one of those guys. And the first person was Sean Porter, right? Then 8 to get Danny Garcia. Now, when I'm looking at Jaron Boots Ennis on the come up, now when we look at Errol Spence coming up, he was ferocious, everybody. Earl was ferocious. He was calling motherfuckers out. He couldn't get the fights. You understand what I'm saying? He couldn't get the fights. He was a high risk, low reward. Earl Spence was a high risk, low reward. He was nailing shit. He was beating motherfuckers' ass. Hey, we all seen that he was gonna be a world champion in the future. We all could see the skill set. We all seen them saying no, and the reason why they were saying no is because the motherfucker, he was looking good. He was looking like the real goods. But we was all looking for Earl Spence to get that big fight. We all was looking for him to get that big fight. Earl Spence finally get the big name that he was looking for, and I ain't gonna say the biggest name of Chris Algieri was the big name for Earl Spence at the time. At the time, Earl Spence went out there and made easy work of and put his ass out, and that's when everybody was saying, okay, yep. Then he had one more fight with Leonard Bundle. Then he went on to become world champion. When we're looking at Jaron Boots Ennis, everybody, Jaron Boots Ennis is coming up the same way Earl Spence is coming up. He's a young, hungry lion on the prowl. He's out there. He's whooping these motherfuckers' ass, making it look easy, right? He's coming up, calling out the top guys, just like Earl Spence was calling out Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, trying to get those big fights, right? Now, when we're looking at Jaron Boots Ennis, he's calling out Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford, Keith Thurman, right? Trying to get the big fights with those guys. But Earl Spence was a high risk, low reward. Jaron Boots Ennis is a high risk, low reward. And he's going to have to do what Earl Spence was doing to get himself in position for that world title. That was Earl Spence just telling him, right? Fight whoever give you the opportunity. Stay on a hunt, because these guys are going to look at you and be like, well, he's not ready yet, right? He haven't put in enough work yet to do this. You know, the pain don't match the risk. The same position Earl Spence was in. The same position Earl Spence was in. Now Jaron Boots Ennis went out there. He got Sergey Lipinets. Just like Earl had got Chris Algieri, he has Sergey Lipinets. And he went out there and did to Sergey Lipinets what Earl Spence did to Chris Algieri. And it had the fucking boxing world on buzz. Even Sean Porter himself had to come out and say, I'm not fucking with that young kid. I'm not getting in the ring with him. Right? And on top of that, Sean Porter just gave him all his praises. Now, what had happened was, this guy he knows seen my video. He didn't look at not 5 minutes of the motherfucker. Didn't give me no time of it. He seen the title of my other live stream, and he ran with what I said, putting his own perception on my video, where he trying to make it as if I said Jaron Boots Ennis is on the same level as Earl Spence right now, where Earl Spence is standing right now. And that's nowhere near the case, because I'm already on record saying that I got Terrence Crawford and Earl the True Spence Jr. beat Jaron Ennis right now, because he still need the experience, right? But he's out here, he's making his name, and we all looking at him as a young, hungry motherfucker on the rise that can possibly get into the ring and beat any of them dudes because of his skill set. What did Floyd Mayweather just say? We don't give him his just due. We don't give that boy the credit that he deserves, some shit that he knows his sport is not doing, right? And on top of that, he said he's a problem right now. He's a problem right now. So everybody looking at that kid and seeing his skill set and saying Jaron Boots Ennis is a bad motherfucker. And last time I recall, that's the same way Earl Spence was coming up. That's the same position Earl Spence was in. But Earl Spence stayed down. He didn't complain. He grinded it out till he got his opportunity. And when he got his opportunity, he showed up, he showed out, and he broke Kell Brook motherfucking eye socket and made him take a knee. When will Jaron Boots Ennis get his opportunity? We don't know. But he's in the same position that Earl Spence was in. High risk, low reward at the time Earl Spence was coming up. And before he got the Algieri fight, the Bundle fight, and the fucking Kell Brook fight. So now that we got that straight and now that went, go ahead, man.
All right, good. Now I got the basis. I got the foundation of what you said. I figured it was pretty much going to be what I thought it was going to be. Basically hearsay. That's why I said those things in the video. You got to understand, with Jaron Boots Ennis, your title was very clear. I didn't say that you said that Jaron Boots Ennis is Earl Spence now. I went off of your title verbatim. Your title says that Jaron Boots Ennis is the new Earl Spence. When you call somebody the new version of somebody else, there has to be heavyweight lifting the notion to showcase that. There has to be something of reality. What you're talking about is potential. What you're talking about is hearsay. You're not giving me anything that's reality to put it there to where you could compare it with Earl the True Spence. You mentioned Sergey Lipinets. Sergey Lipinets is nowhere near the opponent that Chris Algieri was. Chris Algieri faced a Manny Pacquiao. Chris Algieri faced a Ruslan Provodnikov. This is the level of opponents that Chris Algieri faced. This is the level of 12 roundage that Errol the True Spence faced in the ring. Jaron Boots Ennis didn't face that level. Sergey Lipinets doesn't fight the same way that Chris Algieri fights. Chris Algieri is more of a boxer, puncher type of fighter. He boxes you. That's how he beat Ruslan Provodnikov. Sergey Lipinets is a bullshit come forward style Mexican fighter. So he's there to be hit. Somebody like Jaron Boots Ennis that has a slick, elite black fighter style can pick some shit like that apart. That's easy for him to pick apart. Errol the True Spence had to fight a guy that fought in the ring with the savviness of a Manny Pacquiao, punches and bunches of Manny Pacquiao, the experience of Manny Pacquiao, and lasted 12 rounds, even though he got dropped 7 fucking times, 8 by some people. That's the type of guy that Errol the True Spence fought. And then Ruslan Provodnikov, who people thought was going to knock out Chris Algieri outboxed him. So the levels are not the same. So in terms of when you say Jaron Boots Ennis is the new Errol the True Spence, he has to do something that shows that he is the new Errol the True Spence. Just saying that he's high risk, low reward, that any you can say that about Dennis Ugas. Dennis Ugas is another boogeyman at the welterweight division. We can say he's a high risk, low reward, but ain't no motherfucker saying that he's the new Errol the True Spence. We can say that about Dennis Ugas because Terrence Bud Crawford didn't want to fight him. Danny Garcia didn't want to fight him. Keith Thurman didn't want to fight him. But am I sitting there erroneously calling him the new Errol the True Spence? You're talking about potential. There has to be reality. There has to be substance and sustenance to what you're talking about. The reason why Errol the True Spence is special is because he had a sparring match with Floyd Mayweather. Now, I'm going to give you reality here. You're giving me potential. This is why this debate is easy. It's easy work. Potential don't ever mess with reality. Errol the True Spence fought Floyd Mayweather in a sparring match that Leonard Ellaby, who we could testify that, Freddie Roach was there, Barry Hunter was there. Can I go on? Sam Watson was there. And they talked about how Errol the True Spence had his Kobe Bryant moment. It was just like Kobe. When Kobe saw Michael Jordan a year removed from retirement, he told his ass, get your motherfucking ass in shorts, and I'm going to whoop your ass one-on-one. I'm going to dominate you. If you the black cat, I'm the caramel cat. That's Errol the True Spence mindset. The Doghouse, Ashley Theophane, all of these people, eyewitnesses were there. And they said Errol the True Spence was in a calm storm. And he went in there and gave Floyd Mayweather the black eye. Floyd Mayweather fired him, brought him back in because Floyd didn't want that heat. And then he became Floyd Mayweather. See, that's reality. Jaron Boots Ennis don't got that. So when Jaron Boots Ennis don't got that kind of heat, you can't make that comparison. It's a disrespect to the airfield fighter in Errol the True Spence. And then on top of that, Jaron Boots Ennis ain't got Cold War of Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, and Sean Porter, who Floyd put up $10 million for each of them to fight Errol the True Spence and said, get past him and then come see me. Them motherfuckers ducked Errol the True Spence. When did Jaron Boots Ennis get a $10 million Cold War situation? You see what I'm saying? You got to give me reality here. Errol the True Spence already was giving you shit before he was even getting to those levels. Jaron Boots Ennis meets Errol the True Spence, and he acts like a fucking groupie when Errol the True Spence said, young pups can't fuck with big dogs. That should have been his moment. That should have been his identity to say, look here, motherfucker. We're going to step into the ring. We're going to spar. And I ain't afraid of you. I don't give a fuck if your name is Errol the True Spence. Now, one time did he say that? Because he knew what time it was. He knew the aura of fighter that he was dealing with. See, when we sit here and we make comparisons, this is the problem with prisoners of the moment boxing fans. You said I froze up. You got to understand, Money Brown, you're dealing with me. I'm the ultimate debater. I don't never fucking freeze up. I just needed your mission statement so that I could ether and murk your mission statement. Bottom line is as simple as this.
You done.
Bottom line is as simple as this. When we sit here and we're looking at the delineation, the distinction, the gulf, and the separation that's associated with an Errol the True Spence, there is eyewitness testimonies. There is accounts of why Spence was what he was. There's coaches and trainers. Freddie Roach that's telling you they call him the truth because there's no lies in his fist. This guy right here is going to take over boxing. I have not seen a litany of coaches do the same shit for Jaron Boots Ennis that they've done with Errol the True Spence, Barry Hunter, all of these guys. They all said Spence is going to take over. Richard Schaefer, iconically, the guy that, you correct me if I'm right or wrong, I don't know if you interviewed him yesterday or not, I didn't catch it. But that guy said, we left the Mayweather era, we ushered into the Spence era. He never said we left no Mayweather era, we ushered into no Jaron Boots era. He never talked about Jaron Boots in that light. See, we gotta talk about reality and we gotta talk about potential here. Spence is a special breed. When we talk about special fighters, you can't just compare anybody to them until that fighter does something that shows that that fighter's on the level. Now we have a common opponent, Chris Van Heetern. Errol the True Spence aged Chris Van Heetern 30 fucking years. This was a 23-1 South African fighter. At the time that he fought Errol the True Spence, he was the South African pride. Errol the True Spence basically made this motherfucker go from top 10 to not even diction at all. Jaron Boots Ennis gets to fight this guy. Here's your moment to prove that you're the new Errol the True Spence. And what happens? A D fucking Q.
Easy,
so
right?
We're gonna call somebody like that a Errol the True Spence? Come on, man. Stop that nonsense. Let's stop that nonsense. Now you had me listen to Floyd and you had me listen to Errol the True Spence. But when I listened to Floyd just talked about hearsay. He talked about potential of what Jaron Boots Ennis can become. Floyd has said the same shit about Kell Brook. Hey, Kell Brook in 2016, that dude is a problem. I've heard Floyd say this about many fighters that whose career either get a detour or the career doesn't turn out the way that it should. But Floyd, the way he talked about Errol was a whole different ballgame. Hey, this guy right here, he gave me that good work. Floyd never denied the rumors that end up being true. He never denied it. He just said, man, that guy right there, he gave me good work. I already know this guy right here is going to take over the sport. And not one time did I hear Floyd say that Jaron Boots Ennis is going to take over the sport. He just said he's going to be a problem. The same shit he said about AB. But AB became about bullshit after a while. But Floyd said he was going to be a problem. Saying somebody is going to be a problem is not the same level as saying somebody's going to take over the sport. That's a whole different dichotomy. We have to be very careful, especially when we wear a banner like you, Monnie Brown. You're the homie. You're a boxing aficionado. I respect your boxing commentary. I respect you as an individual. You know how I feel about you. But at the same time, when we say erroneous things, we got to call that out. You can't just sit there and give a guy a title when the guy hasn't done anything to proven that he has a title. Him being a high risk, low reward, that could mean anything. Are we sitting here saying that your Dennis Ugas, high risk, low reward, is going to take over boxing? Is going to be the future of boxing? No, we're not saying that.
Not about your Dennis Ugas. It's on Boots and Errol. Boots and Errol.
So we're not saying that. So bottom line is, when we look at Spence, we look at a guy that has had accounts from day one. We got guys that tell you Adrian Broner got fucking dropped in sparring by Errol the True Spence. We don't have these accounts with Jaron Boots Ennis. All we got is boxing fans saying, because of what they've seen in flashiness against lower level opponents, mind you, because Jaron Boots Ennis ain't been in there with no real live dog. We're talking about upper echelon of the welterweight division. He ain't been in there with none of those guys. All we have is you guys saying that he's going to be basically the future. That's it. So to me, that's hearsay. That's potential. That's not reality. So we got to be very careful when we're talking about an airfield fighter and we're trying to compare a newbie that ain't done shit with that airfield fighter. That's all I got to say in round one.
I want y'all to hit that like button, everybody. Please hit that like button. Hit that like button. Run it up, man. We got almost 200 people in the building. It was like 98 likes. Come on, show some love. Show some love. Now, let's get to this. You keep talking about what Errol Spence is now. Coming up, do you know how much praise Jaron Boots Ennis get? I just didn't have time to go through it. Jaron Boots Ennis is getting praised by mostly all the fucking fighters in the game, bro. You got a motherfucker Shakur Stevens who was on the come up saying this dude was special. You talk about Floyd Mayweather. Oh, he said Errol is going to take over. He's going. Of course, he want to say that. He shared the ring with him. So of course, and no rundowns on Errol. I know everything going down when Errol talked to the people who was in the building and all those things. But when we looking at Jaron Boots Ennis on the fucking come up, at the same time when Errol Spence was on the come up, right? The man 23 years of age, on the come up, and already in the top 10 at the welterweight division, getting praised by Errol Spence, Floyd Money Mayweather. You got fucking Sean Porter who don't want to step in the ring with him, right? Keith Thurman them don't want to step in the ring with him. And then you say Floyd put $10 million up to fight Errol Spence. That is a lie. You pull that receipt up and show us. Show me where I missed that. Floyd didn't put no $10 million on the table for no goddamn Thurman, no Danny, nor no Sean. Last time I checked, Keith and Danny asked for $10 million to fight Errol Spence. They both asked for $10 million to fight. If you want us to fight him so bad, then put $10 million up. They wasn't putting no fucking $10 million up with no fucking Errol Spence back then. That shit wasn't gonna be no pay-per-view blockbuster like that. So that's a goddamn lie. So when we're looking at Errol Spence and we're looking at Jaron Ennis at the time they was coming up, I want everybody to remember this shit and listen to what the fuck I'm saying. This is on the come up. This is not now. Yes, Errol Spence had his form was when he came out, whooped the shit out of Ashley Third Payne. Whooped the shit out of Floyd Money Mayweather. I ain't gonna say whooped the shit out of Floyd, but he had his moments. Knocked out Bronner on his feet, right? Freddie Roach confirmed that. Knocked him out on his feet. So guess what? Errol Spence earned the respect of his peers when he was coming up. The respect of his peers, everybody that was around him giving the credit, let alone he was a 2012 Olympian, right? And they asked everyone who was going to medal. Everybody had their eyes set on Errol Spence, Spence. We all know what happened in the Olympics, right? They cheated him after the fucking fight, didn't give him the win. He couldn't get himself back up. But when we're looking at Jaron Boots Ennis on the fucking rise, right? The same way we was looking at Errol Spence on the rise. Now that Errol Spence has done it, it's easy for you to sit back and say, oh, well, he did this. He accomplished this. He accomplished that. But when he was on the rise, right? On the rise coming up, guess what everybody was saying? He has the potential to be this. He has the potential to be that. It was still hearsay. Just because he sparred Floyd Money Mayweather doesn't mean you go get into the ring and beat whomever the fuck you fight for a world title. That's a fact. You still got to go out there and prove it. But it was hearsay with Errol Spence, just like it's hearsay with Jaron Boots Ennis. But don't make it as if Jaron Boots Ennis ain't getting his credibility and ain't being respected by his peers. Because if you go around the boxing world, right, and you ask these motherfuckers about Jaron Boots Ennis right now, he's going to get nothing but high praises. Nothing but high praises. Just like who? Errol Spence was getting nothing but high praises. You understand what I'm saying? So when I'm looking at Boots, you can see the potential in this kid. You can see what he's doing in the fucking ring. You can see the shit that he's knocking out and the way he's going in there and the performance he's putting on. We all know either you judge a fighter off the eye test or you judge a fighter off the resume, right? Right? You judge him off the eye test or you judge him off their resume. When you look at Jaron Boots Ennis, you see the eye test. You see this kid is a bad motherfucker. Speed, power, accuracy, timing, right? I feel like he need to sharpen up his defense a little. You understand what I'm saying? But you can judge this kid off the eye test and say, that's a bad motherfucker right there. And then let's talk about this. He trying to say, oh, Chris Algieri, he fought Manny Pacquiao. He did this. Chris Algieri went out and got his ass beat against Manny Pacquiao. That's a fact. Yes, he fought him, but he got his ass beat. Chris Algieri was a world champion at 140 pounds. Guess who else was a world champion at 140 pounds? Sergey Lipinets, right? Chris Algieri fought the likes of a Manny Pacquiao, who was on the pound-for-pound list of bad motherfucker going into the Hall of Fame. Sergey Lipinets fought Mikey Garcia, ended up losing to him, but he fought Mikey Garcia, 4-division world champion, right? Came up to 147, retired Lamar Peterson, no matter what the fuck y'all want to say. The man retired Lamar Peterson, and he still was a hell of a fighter. Still a hell of a fighter. Before he lost the Boots, he only had one fucking loss on his resume. Jaron Boots Ennis gave the man his second loss. The man had one loss on his resume. So when we're looking at Chris Algieri and we're looking at Sergey Lipinets, you can say Chris Algieri have better names on the resume. You can't because he got Manny Pacquiao that he lost to, right? But you're not gonna really just put him above fucking Sergey Lipinets like he just head and shoulders above Sergey. No, sir. No, sir. Ain't the case here. They both came up to 147. They both faced hungry lions. Chris Algieri facing Errol Spence, who was on a mission. Sergey Lipinets faced Jaron Boots Ennis, who was on a mission. Two southpaws, and they put their ass out. They put him out. When Errol put Chris Algieri out, the Twitter went crazy, the internet went crazy, and motherfuckers was saying this dude is going to be a fucking world champion. He's going to be a world champion. Jaron Boots Ennis put out Sergey Lipinets. The internet went crazy. Guess what people saying? This dude is going to be a world champion. You feel me? He's going to be a world champion. So when we looking at these dudes, y'all got to remember, y'all, don't get off the subject of Errol Spence right now, right? I'm sorry, don't get on that topic because this man stayed trying to compare Jaron Boots Ennis to Errol Spence at the moment. And that's not the facts. I'm talking about on the rise. So yes, I can say he's the new Errol Spence because what I'm looking at is this man on the come up, and I'm seeing him getting the same treatment, right? The same fucking treatment that Errol Spence was getting on the come up, trying to get the big fights, but you cannot get them because they looking at you as a high risk, low reward. We're not talking about no goddamn Ugas who already took L's, and Ugas worked his way back into position to have a title. He did work himself back into position to get to a title. They about to take that title from him, right? They about to take it from him, but they trying to put Ugas in the ring with Jaron Boots Ennis already. Jaron Boots Ennis put himself in position, y'all, right in the top 10 to put himself in position to face a Ugas right now. Right now. Right now. And if you ask people around who they think will win, them motherfuckers will go with Jaron Boots Ennis. Ugas will give him a hell of a fight, but they will pick Jaron Boots Ennis because people, like I say, you're going to judge a fight off the skill set, off the resume or the eye test. And we look at Jaron Boots' skill set, Ugas ain't fucking with that man when you see the skill set. I ain't fucking with him. Now, Ugas have fought in a better competition. You got to give him that credit. I ain't taking nothing away from Ugas. I look at him as arguably the sixth welterweight in the world, right? But when we look at overall the situation and you're looking at it, if you put Ugas in that motherfucker with Jaron Boots Ennis, Cass is going to ride with Jaron Boots Ennis over Ugas, bro. And that's a fact. So when I'm looking at the situation, I'm staying where I'm at, on the come up, on the rise. Jaron Boots Ennis is the next Errol Spence. Nothing's going to change my mind. They both coming up the right way, right? They both went out there trying to, when Errol was coming up, they both went out there trying to make their fucking name, stand down. That's why Errol Spence told this man. Errol Spence told him, fight will give you the opportunity because these cats are going to look at you and they not lining up to fight you. Wait a minute, let me repeat that again. Errol Spence just said they will not be lining up to fight you. He said that for a fucking reason. Just like they wasn't lining up to fight him. You understand me? They wasn't lining up to fight him. Why? Because he understands the position that Jaron Boots was in. Why? Because he was in that same position on his way coming up. So when I'm looking at what Errol Spence said out of his mouth, I'm looking at what Floyd Money Mayweather said out of his mouth, giving that boy his praise that's just due. And Floyd didn't talk about that long because he was on the goddamn show. But then what's the highest praises from Floyd Money Mayweather? He don't get the just due that he deserves, right? He knows. He don't get the just due that he deserves, right? We should be talking about him, and he's going to be a problem. No, you know what? He's a problem right now, period. Floyd talked good shit about Earl. He talked good shit about Boots. So at the end of the day, we all looking at Jaron Boots Ennis, and what I see, what Monty Brown see, Jaron Boots Ennis will be a world champion in the future. Will. It's just all a matter of when will he get his opportunity. You understand me? Now let me read some of these super chats and I'm gonna let you get the floor. Devin Blocker, thank you so much, my brother. Saying Monty Brown putting in that work. I appreciate you, chap. My brother Ronald Bowman. Appreciate that, my brother. My dog, Big Money Texas in the building. Big Facts Game 100 salute. No doubt, my brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right, the floor is yours, he knows. Yo, where you at? He knows. I don't know if the man stepped away or what the situation is. Exactly. I'm not talking about. I'm not comparing Jaron Boots Ennis to no fucking Errol Spence right now. I'll be a fucking fool. Who's that fucking stupid to compare Jaron Boots Ennis, who ever won a title, to a motherfucking unified world champion going on this fourth pay-per-view in a row, the hottest motherfucker in the fucking welterweight division, number 2 on the pound for pound list, on a lot of people's pound for pound list, right? Come on now. Come on now. Gotta be a fucking fool. I'm talking about on the rise. Y'all understand that and listen to me well. That's how I know this man didn't even look. He never looked at my video. He just took my title. He ran with it. He took my title. He ran with it. And how the fuck is it coonish behavior when I'm talking about 2 fucking black fighters? 2 fucking black fighters. And you talking about Monnie Brown is coonish, but I'm seeing my black ass in the ghetto in a motherfucking house that was shot up, right? Still in the same motherfucking house that was shot up on the block of the motherfuckers who did the shit. Ask yourself why I haven't left. Ask yourself why I'm still in the house. So watch your words when you talking about coonish and sellout and all that shit, because no shit changed with me. Still the same nigga that was saying the same shit and gonna continue to say the same shit. So where you go, man? You heard? Send me the link. Why you still right here? Then let me drop this and send the link again. Hey, I'm dropping this link for he knows. They say tell me. Come on, y'all hit that like button for me, family. Hit that like button for me. Run it up, man. The link in the chat, he knows.
You there?
Yeah, we are.
All right, bet. Hold on, let me know.
No doubt, Ronnie. What's going down, champ? Appreciate you for jumping in, showing love.
Hold on. All right. First and foremost, Monnie, I like the way you changed it, the narrative, to say that I said that I'm comparing Errol to Spence now with Jaron Boots Ennis. I didn't do that. I compared Errol to Spence on the come up. I talked about the sparring with Floyd. I talked about eyewitness accounts. I didn't talk about Errol to Spence now. If I talk about Errol to Spence now, Jaron Boots Ennis don't stand a fucking chance. See, I get it. You and a lot of and a lot of the cats that want to support your round one, they want to come to the same conclusion that was the case. But that wasn't the case. I talked about it straight up on the up and coming. On the up and coming, Jaron Boots Ennis is potential. Errol the True Spence is reality. There is no infamous sparring match against Floyd Mayweather. Errol the True Spence is on the up and up.
Has a potential.
Money Brown, you gotta let me talk.
I'm gonna let you talk, but has a potential and reality, right? When
okay, see, now you putting me off. Now you putting me off.
I'm asking you a question, bro. You gotta get the floor. Don't start that shit. Now, has a potential and reality when Errol on the come up was on this way to try to get a world title, trying to fight a top fighter, just like.
So how we doing this? We cutting each other off?
Come on, man! Don't get the crying like a little girl, bro.
I'm not crying like a little girl. I'm going to press you. I'm going to press you.
It ain't no
pressing you is going to make you. It's going to make you get tense. So you sat here and you changed the narrative so that you can make your argument like what you said, and you said erroneously that I said in round one that Errol the True Spence now versus Jaron Boots Ennis now. I never said that.
That is what you
compared Errol the True Spence on the up and up with Jaron Boots Ennis on the up and up.
Hey,
and the real ones heard that.
Hold on.
And Jaron Boots Ennis on the up and up. Don't compare with Errol the True Spence on the up and up.
Hold on, he knows. Hold on. Listen, I just specifically told y'all, bro, that that link is for he knows. This is it. We having a debate, bro. Yeah, this is not for everybody to try to jump in. You're not getting in. Y'all gonna be sitting in the background.
All right. So bottom line is this: on Earl the Truth Spence's come up, 12 fights. He was 12-0 when he sparred against Floyd Mayweather. That's up. That's on the up and up. Jaron Booth Ennis got way more fights than that at this point. On the up and up. Jaron Booth Ennis don't got that kind of account. He don't got no AB drop it. He don't got none of that going on for him. So we can't sit here on the up and up and even compare them. It's false to do that. It's erroneous to do that. Now, you talk about Jaron Booth Ennis. Jaron Booth Ennis got beat up 3 times by Gary Antoine Russell. He still got Gary Antoine Russell Jr. problems.
This man's
It seems like all of the guys that so-called black community fan bases support, like Devin Haney, like Jaron Booth Ennis, they got Gary Russell problems. Devin Haney ducking Gary Russell. Jaron Booth Ennis still got to prove himself against Gary Antoine Russell. Have we ever heard of Earl the Truth Spence getting beat up by Gary Antoine Russell 3 times and still trying to prove himself? Virgil Ortiz calling out Jaron Booth Ennis. If Jaron Booth Ennis want to prove that he's an Earl the Truth Spence, he would have basically been calling these cats out and basically putting like a gun to their head with his boxing mitt and saying, look, I'll step into the ring with any one of you motherfuckers and I'll eradicate you right now. That's what Earl the Truth Spence did with Sean Porter. That's what he did with Danny Garcia. That's what he did with Keith Thurman. And those guys blatantly ducked him. That we don't got that account with Jaron Booth Ennis. And that's Earl the Truth Spence on the up, not Earl the Truth Spence now. So let's stick to the context. The context is Earl the Truth Spence on the up and up and Jaron Booth Ennis on the up and up. They don't compare. Earl the Truth Spence's leagues and shoulders still at that time above Jaron Booth Ennis. Again, when we compare somebody, there has to be reality. There has to be tangible facts that prove that that person is worth the comparison. If we don't got that, then the comparison don't mean shit. When Kobe Bryant was on the up and up and being compared with the likes of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant had a 1998 All-Star game where he was lacing up all of these All-Stars. When they said he was going to be the next Michael Jordan, I'm talking about doing these cats up. He dropped 36 on Michael Jordan, 32 on Michael Jordan. Where do we have Jaron Booth Ennis and an infamous sparring session on the up and up against Earl the Truth Spence where he gave Earl the Truth Spence that work? They had a face-to-face. He was on the up and up. He had the opportunity at that moment to prove what you was talking about of him being the new Earl the Truth Spence and say, look here, fuck all that talking. Let's spar right now. Because if he would have done that, and he would have gave Earl the Truth Spence that work, just like Earl the Truth Spence gave Floyd Mayweather, we talking a whole different ball game. I'll be right there saying, hey, you preaching to the choir. With Jaron Booth Ennis, we have a problem that boxing community fan bases like to do with fighters. They like to prop up fighters too fucking fast without reality. Just hearsay. When you mentioned Sergey Lipinets again, you gave a double talking of my own talking point. You said Chris Algieri lost to Manny Pacquiao, but he was in the ring with Manny Pacquiao. He stayed at 12 rounds with a legend. Who the fuck did Sergey Lipinets fight on the level of a Manny Pacquiao to get dropped by 7 or 8 times by him to then come back and say that he at least went 12 rounds with somebody like that? Who did Sergey Lipinets fight the way that Chris Algieri fought Ruslan Provodnikov and outboxed a guy that they said was going to rip his head off? Nobody had Chris Algieri winning that fight. Sergey Lipinets don't have that. What, he fought a Lamont Peterson? That Earl the Truth Spence happened to what? Debilitate to the point that he was already done? That's why they call it the ruin you style. Because he fucking ruins you so that when the next person steps up and fights you, the person's pretty much done. If Lamar Peterson didn't fight Earl the Two Spence, Sergey Lipinets would have got done the fuck up. So when you sit here and say Jaron Booth Ennis, we got a lot of guys that he could go through right now. Virgil Ortiz, why isn't he going through that guy? Gary Antoine Russell, who's constantly calling out Jaron Booth Ennis. Why isn't he fighting that guy? There's a lot of unfinished business with Jaron Booth Ennis that you are falsely coronating that this guy clearly is not what he's advertised to be. But yeah, he's ready for the Udenis Ugases of the world. He's ready for the Sean Porters of the world. I saw the fight against Chris Van Heater. And here's the other thing, too, with Jaron Booth Ennis. Jaron Booth Ennis has a bad flaw. He keeps his hands down. He fights somebody like Earl the Two Spence. I'm talking about on the up and up. Earl the Two Spence will fuck his ass up. Because hands down, man down. It's really that simple. So I don't understand when you're sitting here and you're telling me Jaron Booth Ennis on the up and up, and you're only mentioning, your only reference is Sergey Lipinets. Everybody else that Jaron Booth Ennis has fought is opponents that they put in front of him so that he can look flashy and he can look good. He has not been against a real live dog, a real live animal. Put his ass in there with Gary Antoine Russell. Put his ass in there with Virgil Ortiz. Beat those guys. Then we can say, okay, potential becomes contender. And then now we get to see what he could do against some real live gate welterweight. When we sit here and we look at your Dennis Ugas, Keith Thurman, and those guys, it's not the same thing. Those guys are not ducking Jaron Booth Ennis. They're just not fighting him because what are they going to gain from it? Whereas with Earl the Two Spence, those guys didn't fight him because they were petrified. They were scared. I mean, it's really that simple. When you hand Keith Thurman $10 million at that time, which was going to be his biggest payday, Danny Garcia, $10 million at that time, which was going to be his biggest payday. Sean Porter, $10 million at that time, which was going to be his biggest payday. And those guys, ducked Earl the Two Spence on the up and up. That's the context. Not Earl the Two Spence now. I'm talking about Spence then. When Floyd said, get past this guy, and then you could go ahead and fight. I mean, come on. The bottom line is, Jaron Booth Ennis does not have actual record for you to sit here and justify this guy on the same level with Earl the Two Spence on the up and up. That's what we're talking about. That's what I was talking about. You giving me only Sergey Lipinets. And Sergey Lipinets is not even a full-fledged 147-pounder. This is a guy that's really a 140-pounder. So again, what else do you got here? I mean, it's really simple.
All right, now, y'all. Now, this man just said a whole lot of nothing and hanging his goddamn self. He said Sergey Lipinets is not really 147. What the fuck was Chris Algieri? This man steady saying that $10 million was offered to Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, and Danny Garcia. Please show us the fucking receipts to where they offered them people $10 million to fight Errol Spence. Because that's a dog-faced, bold-ass lie. Then,
Can I say something? Can I say something real quick? Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
It ain't even no dog-faced lie, because now you're making Floyd Mayweather a liar. Because Floyd Mayweather said, I'll put up $10 million. Don't act like you and all of these other motherfuckers that's listening didn't know that happened. Floyd said, I'll put up $10 million right now. Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia. Don't act like you didn't hear that money, Brown. Floyd to fight Earl the Two Spence. If you get past Spence, then you can fight me. So that didn't happen?
That Floyd Mayweather said, I will relinquish my titles right now if they was to fight Earl Spence. If y'all say y'all go fight Earl Spence, I'm still yet to receive my WBO. He said, I will relinquish my title to fight. I mean, for them boys to fight Earl Spence. That man never said out his mouth that he will put up $10 million for them to get into the ring with Earl Spence. Now, like I said, If I'm wrong, right, you can pull up the receipt and bust my motherfucking face right
Oh, I
now.
don't have a problem pulling up the
So
receipt.
now, all
I
right,
don't
pull
have
up
a problem because Earl the
so
Two Spence
now,
was standing next to
all right,
Earl
all
Spence.
right, all right,
Floyd
now,
Mayweather was standing next to Earl
now,
Spence when he did
now,
it. And then
now,
Kenny Porter talked about it a week
now,
later when he
now,
said, I don't care if we're offered 10 million to
listen,
fight
man.
Earl the Two Spence. He's not ready right now. That
Now,
came out of Kenny Porter's mouth. So what you talking about?
now you said, okay, I'm only bringing up Sergey Lipinets, right? So now, when we looking at Earl Spence, and Earl is my guy, and I love him to death, right? Ride for him. But the thing is, you know, when some people feel like they are a fan of somebody, I think they only feel like they the only person that's going to be the fan, and what they say go. And if you start saying things about shit, that they can come and try to, um, try to tear down what somebody else saying about a certain fighter and shit like that. But it don't work that way. Now, when we looking at Earl Spence before Chris Algieri, right? We got Barrera, we got Chris Van Herding, the same person that Jaron Boots Ennis was fighting, and he was on his way to knocking that motherfucker out. Regardless of what you talking about, everybody that got eyes, Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder saying that Jaron Boots Ennis was fit to knock Chris Van Herding the fuck out. Now that's the Chris Van Herding removed from Earl Spence. He fought Earl in 2015, so of course it's not going to be the same Chris Van Herding. But when you talking about he didn't show up, and that has been an opportunity for him to show out, the man was on his way to knock him the fuck out. The thing was he was rushing and he got a fucking headbutt that split his fucking eye open because it's for the IBO title. Now, when we looking at these motherfuckers that Earl fought on the rise, right? Because you said they put them fighters in front of Boots for him to look good. If you telling me they weren't putting these fighters in front of Earl to look good, then you got to be talking to the motherfucking floor. Because right now, every motherfucker that's on Earl Spence's resume, Jaron Boots Ennis will beat the fuck out of them. He would beat the fuck out of them.
Like
Period.
who?
So on the rise,
Like
right?
who?
Man, we talking about Alejandro Barrera. We talking about Chris Van Herding, Phil LaGreco, Samuel Vargas, Francisco Castro, Noah Blanco, Ronald Cruz, Raymond Charles, Peter Luch, Gerardo, I can't pronounce his damn last name, Emmanuel Lotte. Man, come on, man. Stop playing.
You just said
Come on,
everybody.
man.
You said
Now,
everybody on the list. So he'll beat the fuck out of Kell Brook. He'll
man,
beat the fuck out of Sean Porter.
I just
He'll
said
beat the fuck out of Danny Garcia.
this man, that's
You
what's wrong with
discrediting
people.
yourself right now.
This
He'll beat
what's
the fuck
wrong
out of
with
them.
people like you, he knows. You don't fucking listen, bro. You don't listen. I said everybody on his resume leading up to fucking Chris Algieri. You don't listen. That's y'all problem, bro. Y'all want to take people's shit and twist it up and make it out of what y'all want it to be. Now I said leading up to Chris Algieri.
You just said that now.
Man,
Before
get out
you
of
said
here, bro.
every
All right,
motherfucker on his resume.
let me finish my spiel, bro.
All right.
Like I said, leading up to Chris Algieri, he will be.
Okay, you just said that now.
Bro,
Okay.
stop it. Leading up to Chris Algieri, all we gotta do is rewind the fucking tape. Leading up to Chris Algieri, Jaron Boots Ennis will beat the fuck out of everybody on the resume. So when Earl Spence got to Chris Algieri, that was the biggest name. That was the biggest
Well,
name.
he had Chris Van Heater. He had a mangled version of Chris Van Heater.
Bro,
Spence fought a Chris Van Heater and that was 23-1. And Spence broke him down.
Bro, stop it, bro.
Why did Jaron Boots Ennis not break down Chris Van Heater? Please explain that.
Stop it, bro. Now,
please explain that.
Up, bro, don't start being a weak ass nigga. Stop it, because I shut the fuck up and let you talk. Now, leading up to fucking Sergey Lipinets, right? They want that too far from Errol Spence. If we keeping this shit trill and real all the way around the board. Now, what you going off of is, his peers was praising him. This, that, and the third. Of course, we know Errol Spence was getting praised by his peers. Of course, we know the sparring wars of Errol Spence leading up to it, right? But Jaron Boots Ennis is also getting the praises from his peers. In case you don't understand, because you can only see what the fuck you want to see. Y'all don't get credit where credit is due. So when y'all in this game and y'all don't get credit where credit is due, this is the type of shit that happened. This is exactly the type of shit that happened. Y'all overlook certain shit just to fit y'all narrative. Now, like I was saying, on the come up, Jaron Boots Ennis is in the same position Earl Spence was in, and he's the new Earl Spence because it's going to be hard for him to get, right, the big fights with these dudes. Now he put himself inside the top 10 now. He put himself inside the top 10. Now it's looking like he about to fight on Errol Spence undercard. I don't know if he's going to be on the pay-per-view or the televised card that's on the television. But they looking for him an opponent. It's looking like it's going to be Cussio Clay. That's what the word around around the game. But he was trying to get a fight with Dennis Ugas. You was talking about, oh, he have Gary Antoine Russell problems. If you don't go back to the fucking amateurs, right? Do Errol Spence have fucking Brian Castano problems? You understand what I'm saying? We can go dig in the fucking amateurs with fighters all fucking day. That shit don't mean nothing now. These dudes are professionals. Professionals. Gary Antoine Russell is fighting at 140 pounds. 140. And ain't coming to 147 no time soon because he's trying to be a world champion. But if I'm seeing the demeanor of Jaron Bruce Ennis, and if Gary Antoine Russell was at 147, right? And Gary Antoine Russell's a fucking monster. Shouts out to my brother Batman. Right? I don't think Jaron Bruce Ennis is going to turn down a fucking Gary Antoine Russell fight. The man trying to make his name. The man trying to get a Keith Thurman, who he say he'll beat the shit out of. The man say he will walk through Errol Spence like wet tissue. The man say that he's smarter than Boots, right? He's smarter than Bud Crawford. He's doing the same shit that Errol Spence was doing on the rise, trying to get a fight with these boys, calling these boys out. And once again, I need you to pull up where where Floyd Mayweather said another false fact. Keith Thurman asked for $10 million when Floyd said fight Errol on my undercard. Then we fight. He makes it. I already know. In fact, Kwame, thank you for the donation. I already know he asked for $10 million, right? He asked for $10 million. Even Danny Garcia asked for $10 million. So that's how I know Floyd Mayweather didn't put up no fucking $10 million and they didn't answer the call. Right? When Floyd Mayweather was sitting right there, he said, I will relinquish my title, talk about his WBA, for them boys to get in the ring and fight Errol Spence. Errol Spence was sitting right there when he beat Phil LaGreco ass, when Sean Porter beat Adrian the Problem Browner. I know this shit like the back of my head, bro. I know this shit like the back of my head. And one thing Money Brown is not gonna do, y'all, I'm not gonna pull up shit without no facts. I'm not pulling up shit without no facts. You understand what I'm saying? When I look at Errol Spence, and Errol Spence praised Jaron Bruce Ennis, Floyd Mayweather praised Jaron Bruce Ennis, Shakur Stevenson praised him, Sean Porter tell you right now, Sean Porter out his own mouth, he's not getting in the ring with that boy. He's not getting in the ring with that boy. He's a fucking monster. Sean Porter said, I thought my footwork was nasty. That boy footwork is nasty. You understand what I'm saying? So, just like Errol Spence was getting praises from his fucking peers, Jaron Bruce Ennis is getting praises from his peers. But you know what? People seem to ignore that. They seem to ignore it. They're not going to give credit. Why? Because some of these motherfuckers live in their goddamn head. They live in their head. And they feel like what they say and what they see is it, and that's what goes. No. News flash or reality check. Facts are facts. The game is the game. The come up is the come up. When you're a young, hungry lion, like Andre Berto said, you don't feel like you can be stopped. You don't feel like you can be beat. It's a different type of feeling. You working your ass off. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just you're a hungry motherfucker. And you're willing to get in there. You're willing to get in there with anybody. Jaron Bruce Ennis is willing at this time right now to get in there with anybody and willing to make his name, bro. We see this kid with the eye test. They're not praising him for no reason. He's not getting his fucking praises for no reason, bro. And that's a fact. So at the end of the day, if y'all choose to overlook what Jaron Bruce Ennis is doing, if y'all choose to overlook the people that's praising him on this come up, like I say, because that's what we're sticking to. We're not talking about everything that Errol Spence accomplished. We're talking about back, 2015, 2016 days, Earl on the come up. Jaron Bruce Ennis is in the same position that Errol Spence was in. It's going to be tough for him to get them fights. But like I'm going to say, tables do turn. So all he got to do is stay down, face who they put in front of him. Don't cry about nothing, just like ESJ, and your time will come. Because if Errol Spence go in there, if he beat Manny Pacquiao, get the WBA Super, if they put it on the line, if Terrence Bud Crawford get in there and accept the fucking 60-40, and Errol beat him and become undisputed, Errol is going to 154. He's going to relinquish the titles, and Jaron Bruce Ennis will get his opportunity to be a world champion. Just like Errol Spence kept his head down, kept putting in the work, got his opportunity to be a world champion. Kell Brooks stepped up to the plate. Shouts out to Kell for giving him the shot. And the same thing might going to happen for Jaron Boots Ennis, right? I can't say he's going to win because you can't look into the future, but I feel like he will be a world champion once that man gets the opportunity. And I feel like he's going to show up and show out, just like I felt the same way about Errol Spence. He was going to show up and show out and become a world champion. Period. The floor is yours, man. The floor is yours, he knows. I don't know if you stay leaving out, worrying about the chat and all that shit or what. Boise Ennis said Ugas was mentioned, and Ugas is the. I don't know about that, Kwame. You know what it is? Like I said, high risk, low reward, bro. High risk, low reward. This man said they won't fight you, Dennis Ugas, because I mean he said they're not gonna fight Jaron Ennis because they're not gonna gain nothing. He said they weren't gonna fight Earl because they was terrified of Earl. Man, these boys feel the same way about Jaron Boots Ennis. They see the skill set of that boy. They don't want to get in the ring with that man. They don't want to get in the ring with him because they know for a fact them skills on that man, he might fuck around and turn their ass up and take all their thunder, bro. And if you ain't bringing in the right amount of money, if you're not bringing in the right amount of money, right, for them to fight you, they not gonna take that risk. If the money don't match, they not. Yeah, I heard you. If the money don't match, right, you get in the ring with one of these young hungry ass lions, they not gonna get in there. And if he fuck around, beat your ass, take that thunder from you, and they don't reap no benefits, it's just not gonna happen, bro. It's not.
All right. Let me just say this, since the floor is mine. You said leading up to Chris Algieri. Again, we still got Chris Van Heater. The Chris Van Heater that Jaron Boots Ennis fought, if Jaron Boots Ennis would have fought the Chris Van Heater that Earl the True Spence fought, that was giving Spence fits up until Spence started breaking him down, it would have been a different story. That Chris Van Heater was fresh. That Chris Van Heater was 23-1. We're not talking about Jaron Boots Ennis turning around and getting headbutt the way that he did in that fight against Chris Van Heater, especially the way that Chris Van Heater was pressed into action. You also mentioned there's no other fighters. Emmanuel Larty rocked Earl the True Spence. Earl the True Spence showed an iron chin. Jaron Boots Ennis getting rocked with that same shot. He's going the fuck down. We don't know what Jaron Boots Ennis' chin is. I can tell you that shit right now.
This man making up shit.
So bottom line is simple as this. No, I'm not making up shit. Emmanuel Larty did rock Earl the True Spence. But Spence showed his great night chin. I'm not making that up.
You said if he hit Jaron Ennis, you saying if he hit Jaron Ennis with that shot, he going down. Then you say Chris Van Heater. If he is Jaron Boots Ennis in the chin with that same shot, he goes down. You don't know that. You don't know what type of chin that man got.
Because
you just making that up.
You gotta have a chin. Spence's chin is proven.
You just
Boots' chin is not proven. That you can't argue with because he's never been hit in the chin. So his chin ain't proven. Spence been hit in the chin.
You don't know if he got a chin.
Spence is proven.
But if you don't know if he got a chin or not, you just can't say that man going down.
That he don't go down.
You just can't say that man going down, bro.
Now you mentioned Sean Porter.
This man
you gotta let me talk, man. Let me talk for a second. You also mentioned Sean Porter. Of course, Sean Porter's not gonna go in the ring with Jaron Boots Ennis. Spence ruined his ass for fucking 12 rounds. We're talking about Sean Porter pre-Errol Spence. Jaron Boots Ennis ain't got no fucking chance against that Sean Porter. Not that Sean Porter that got strength and conditioned by Larry Wade. Jaron Boots Ennis gonna be in for a world of hurt, a world of pressure. There's levels to this boxing shit, man. We can't sit here and say that a kid, again, that's filled with promise, that hasn't proven anything, is on the same level with a guy that's fighting heavyweight lifting opponents and taking them out. So when you mentioned prior to Chris Algieri, I just told you, Chris Van Heater. I've been mentioning that point from the jump. And my general point is you can't compare Boots to Spence because Boots don't have nothing of tangibility to be compared to Spence. When you compare somebody to someone, they have to do something that shows a tangible result that they match the comparison. And I know loyal to the game because I guess he's He's still salty, bitter. I don't know what he's salty or bitter
Bro,
about.
stop
He
worrying
brought
about
up a
that.
$10 million situation about Keith Thurman. Bottom line is he still proved my fucking point. The $10 million conversation was talked about. There was no $10 million conversation talked about with Jaron Booth Ennis. You will not find that. So again,
Once
it's
again,
about
you're wrong
fact
again.
versus fiction. Jaron Booth Ennis is you guys' fiction that you're trying to make facts. He's a potential that you're trying to make reality. I saw in the comment section they said, but Antoine Russell was 140. The bottom line is they fought in the amateur. Gary Antoine Russell beat his ass. Earl the True Spence just G-checked Brian Castano and told his rabbit ass, wait till I get to 154. Do you see Jaron Booth keeping that same energy? So that person in the comment section just got G-checked off of what they fucking said. See, when it's all said and done, Spence always gets his get back. Spence always proves that if you gonna get slide to the mouth, I'm gonna check you right then and there. And I don't give a fuck who it is. You call me out, like Mikey Garcia, I'm gonna handle you. Gary Antoine Russell been calling out Jaron Booth Ennis. Where's Jaron Booth Ennis saying, look here, motherfucker, I'm gonna handle you. I ain't heard none of that. Virgil Ortiz calling this motherfucker out left and right. They in the same weight class. I don't hear Jaron Booth Ennis having that same energy. So you got to keep that same energy, though. He ain't doing that. I don't hear him saying, hey, Virgil Ortiz, let's go at it. Because when you're a guy that's special and you're a guy that's not to be trifled with, no motherfucker can get out of pocket with you. Not even for a 0.01% chance. Too many motherfuckers getting out of pocket with Jaron Booth Ennis. Look at Terrence Bud Crawford. Spence said, hey, look at it, 60-40. That's why y'all jumped off of Bud. Because y'all know Spence just G-check Bud. That's what I'm talking about. If you're going to compare Jaron Booth Ennis with Spence, he got to have that same energy to always be ready to check a motherfucker quick, fast, in a hurry like UPS. Jaron Booth Ennis ain't got that. Because his encounter with Spence on the up and up, because Spence was on the up and up. Floyd was a legend. Spence didn't care that Floyd was a legend. He just wanted to get in the ring and prove his medal, prove his pedigree. Jaron Booth Ennis should have done the same thing. Until this day, none of y'all motherfuckers can tell me where he has that kind of story, where he has that kind of account. There's none of that. Y'all sitting here and using a shining beacon that's a false idol and propping them up against a true person that is the truth in the ring from day one. Spence on the up and up had reality accounts. He has reality accounts now. Jaron Booth Ennis got hearsay. And all you giving me is Sergey Lipinets. That's weak. All you telling me is what Sean Porter said and what you Dennis Ugas said. Of course Sean Porter's going to say that shit now. Sean Porter went 12 rounds with Spence. He's ruined. He's fucking ruined. That's it. It's simple. So, of course, he's not going to step into the ring after he's ruined with somebody that's an up and up fighter. But if it was Sean Porter prior to Spence, I guarantee you he wouldn't have had no problem doing that. I guarantee that. Go look at Sean Porter in his tune-up fight after he fought Spence. No longer the same fighter. But we don't have those accounts with Jaron Booth Ennis. All we have is you guys doing what you always do with boxers. Prop them up too fast. That's what you're doing with Jaron Booth Ennis. Until Jaron Booth Ennis has a real live dog, a real live body bag on his count, then calling him the new Errol Spence is invalid. It's erroneous. And it is what it is. So don't sit here and tell me that I'm sitting here and I'm going off of something that doesn't make sense. No, I'm going off of what I seen in front of me. And what I see with Jaron Booth Ennis, does he have promise? I've talked about it. I said, yes, he has promise. I said he has potential. But see, this is the problem with y'all. Y'all like to take fighters and boxers that have promise and potential and bring them all the way up to guys that have been showing you reality from day one. That don't make no damn sense. Until you can show me Jaron Ennis against a fighter that he's fought out of 20 plus fights, name me a name in his body count that shows that he's the new Errol that you spent. You can't do that.
Now, y'all, this man is everywhere, over here, over there. This man has said a whole lot of this and still didn't say nothing, bro. Now, you continue to bring up shit that has no substance. We stay talking about on the rise, but you say talking about on the rise, but you bring up Errol Spence and what he's doing. You say talking about this heavyweight lifting. You keep bringing up that same shit.
You're not listening. You're not paying attention. Because I talked about his up and up. I talked about Floyd.
Is, all right, bro. All right.
You just went These are all up and up.
All right,
you're not listening, bro.
This man is set up here, right? Chris Van Herden. If he'd have hit, you saying it would have been a whole different story. You talking about Latte would have hit Boots, he would have went down. That's what you thinking. Those
no, it's not what I'm thinking.
Those are not fucking facts. How the fuck is a fact? We didn't see Boots get hit yet. So this is my fact, bro. All right, bro. You just went. You had your spiel. Now you already got caught in your lie when you talking about 10 million was offered, and we gonna play this clip.
I didn't get caught in my lie.
All right.
Because all he did was just give a different account of what was already told about the 10 million.
Bro,
it's still there.
Nobody
the
never
account is still there.
All right, bro. Now let me see. Let me play this receipt for you.
You know that the champ believes in you, but this has to put you right on the radar screen now.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the radar. I think I'm ready to fight Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, for he'll relinquish his titles, and we'll fight in September if they're ready to step up.
I'm ready to relinquish the belts. You know, I think I said, before I said I was going to relinquish the belts, but I'm yet to receive my WBO belt. But let Leonard step in. Let Leonard talk about, Errol Spence will look. I think two good matchups for him will be either Sean Porter in September or Keith Thurman. We haven't relinquished the belts yet, but once these guys say, you know what, we take the fight, we want the fight, with Errol Spence, then guess what, we're going to make it happen. Errol Spence is a terrific.
You never heard Floyd Mayweather say shit about no $10 million. Kurt, what's going on, Kurt? And Kurt,
you brought up one. Hey, Monnie Brown.
Hold on, bro.
First and foremost, you brought up one interview.
Let me talk, bro.
You brought up one interview.
Let me talk, bro.
Multiple interviews. You brought up one.
Stop trying to cut me off. This is the same goddamn interview that you was talking about. Now, Kurt, this is a motherfucking historian right here. Kurt, I want you to answer me a question, Kurt. Kurt, when I say Jaron Boots Ennis is the new Errol Spence on the come up, Kurt, will you agree with me, Kurt, yes or no, that he's in the same position that Errol Spence was in when he was trying to get a world title shot and trying to fight these big motherfucking fighters at the welterweight division, the top dogs? True, Boots is unproven, but you cannot deny his talent. He be the favorite in any fight at 147 outside of Bud and EJ.
Well, there you go. You got your own people telling you that Boots is unproven.
I mean, that's a
there you go.
A super chat. Now
the point. The point that I've been making. Are invalid.
You've been up here making up shit talking about $10 million.
I'm not making up shit. I'm not making up shit because
like I'm saying,
brought up another account about the $10 million. So how am I making up shit?
Now,
Kenny Porter, I want you to play the interview where Kenny Porter said that Sean Porter was offered $10 million to fight Errol Spence. Why are you not bringing that up?
Kenny Porter
Why
said,
you not bringing that up?
Listen, when we sitting up here,
you only bringing up the interviews that you want to bring up. That's it. You're not bringing that up.
I just brought up the interview that this man asked about. This man said Errol Spence was on the side.
I didn't ask about nothing, Monnie Brown. You brought up what you wanted to bring up. Don't play that. Don't play that. You brought up what you wanted to bring up to try to prove your point.
Don't fuck with me when it comes to
I just told you that Kenny Porter out of his own mouth said that we were offered $10 million, but we refused to take it because Errol Spence ain't done nothing.
Don't fuck with Monty Brown when it comes
That's
to the
facts.
boxing game.
That's facts.
Now,
And you can't debunk that. You cannot debunk that. The bottom line is the people in your own comment
if
section
you got
are
it,
telling
pull
you
it up.
exactly what I've been telling you. That
If you
Boots
got
is
if you got
unproven.
it, pull
That's
it
my
up.
point.
If
My
you got it,
mission
pull it
statement
up.
is Boots is
If you got it,
unproven.
pull
You
it up.
can't take an unproven guy
If you
and
got it,
compare him with
pull it
Spence.
up. Now,
That's the context of the
now,
argument.
now you want to stop. You want to try to cut me off when I'm talking.
I'm not cutting
Now,
you off.
now,
I'm
if
just
you
telling you,
got
if
it,
you're going to quote me,
if you
quote
got
me
the
right.
receipt, if you got the receipts, pull them up. Because like I say, all you've been doing is telling fucking lies.
Now,
Now,
I'm not telling lies.
when we look at the
You telling your
situation,
own story
when we look at the
and you going off of
situation,
your own story. You going off of interviews. Notice you
when we
can't
look
go
at
toe
the
to toe.
situation, bro, when we look
You
at
just
the
playing
situation,
videos, man.
when we
And
look at the
you
situation,
double talking my own talking point. That's all you doing.
man,
I
listen, when we
mentioned
look
Chris
at the
Van
situation,
Heater,
bro, come
23
on
and
now.
1.
Come on now,
Put
bro. Cut it out. Cut
Geron
it out.
Ennis
Cut
against
it
that
out, bro.
Chris Van
Cut it out.
Heater.
Because now,
What happens in that fight?
now you trying to keep talking while I'm trying to talk. You just had your time. So cut
I'm
the
not keep
bullshit.
talking while you
Cut the
talking.
bullshit.
I'm
Now.
not gonna let
Now.
you
Yes, you is.
sit
Yes, you
here
is,
and say
bro.
what I didn't say. That's
Yes,
not gonna
you is,
happen.
bro.
That
Now. Now, when this man sit up here talking about, oh, Floyd was sitting right on the side of him, right? When he said the $10 million, we ain't seen no 10 million nothing. We seen the belt. Now that shit got debunked. He said Kenny Porter said they would offer 10 million. If you can find this motherfucking video where they were offering 10 million, show it. Now, on the come up, he said Jaron Boots Ennis is unproven. Before Earl Spence got to Chris Algieri, who did he face? Who did he face? You see what I'm saying? They're in the same fucking position on the come up, bro. They're in the same position on the goddamn come up. That's my whole point. The come up. That's what I've been talking about. The come up, y'all. My video is about the come up. My video that I made when I talked about it on the live stream, I dropped the whole video. When y'all go listen to the video, you'll see that I'm saying Jaron Boots Ennis is in the same position Earl Spencer's in coming up, right? Earl Spence was a high risk, low reward. Jaron Boots Ennis is a high risk, low reward right now. He's not bringing nothing to the table where people can say, you know what, man, if I get my ass whooped, it's going to be worth it if I lose. You feel me? That means he have to prove himself and get in there and do what he got to do. So he trying to say, oh, your chat is already proven. Bro, my chat is saying the same shit that Monty Brown was saying now and what Monty Brown was saying in the fucking video. What I'm talking about is him getting the fucking respect from his peers, just like Earl Spence got the respect from his peers, right? And the top fighters knew. The top fighters knew that this motherfucker is dangerous. Back then, they knew there was a possibility if we get into the ring with Errol Spence, he gonna beat our ass, take our thunder, and what do we reap from the? What do we get from it? We don't benefit. Everything is in Errol Spence's position. He's gonna take that shit and run off with the plug, and run off with the motherfucking plug, just like Jaron Boots Ennis. If they get into the ring with Jaron Boots Ennis, he go beat their ass, right? Assume I ain't gonna say he gonna beat their ass, but it's a possibility that he'll beat their ass, and guess what he gonna do? He gonna run off with the plug, and they didn't get shit. So now, this man steady sitting up here. He's saying he talking about the come up, but every time he's talking about the come up, he'll bring in heavy lifting. He'll bring in the position Earl Spence in, or he'll go back and talk about some goddamn amateur shit. We're not talking about no amateurs, bro. We talking about right now what's going on at the professionals. At the professionals, bro. Period. As a professional. Cut it down. Appreciate that, bro. Say all facts, money, bud time will come, patience. You know what I'm saying? So what Boots is doing, he's doing the same thing Earl Spence doing. The man, he not crying. Like Earl say, fight who give you the opportunity. These guys are not lining up to fight you, talking about the top motherfuckers, the top guys at the division. Why would Earl Spence say that? Because he was once in the same fucking position. They wasn't lining up to fight me, Jaron Boots Ennis. They not lining up to fight you, bro. Because they see the skill set on you. They understand if I get into the ring with that young bull, it's a possibility that he's going to whoop my ass. And if I ain't making X amount of dollars for that shit, because y'all got to think about this, bro. Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, and even your Dennis Ugas. They are in a position to make millions of dollars right now. I know what you meant, Cutter Don. My bad, bro. I should have said Boots, but thank you again for that donation, my brother. Listen, they are in a position to make millions of dollars, right? The Dennis Ugas is about to be the co-main event to Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao. He worked his way up that ladder to get there. Sean Porter's in a position to get there with Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, 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 Danny Garcia, Keith
And
Thurman,
where Monty
Danny
Brown at?
Garcia, Keith Thurman, Danny 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 Garcia, Keith Thurman, Danny
All right.
Garcia,
Bottom line is
Keith
this.
Thurman,
This is
Danny
really simple
Garcia,
until Monty Brown
Keith
come back
Thurman,
on.
Danny Garcia,
Again,
Keith
I talked
Thurman,
about Spence
Danny
on the
Garcia,
up and up.
Keith
I
Thurman,
didn't talk about
Danny
Spence
Garcia,
now. I didn't
Keith
talk about
Thurman,
Spence's
Danny
heavyweight lifting.
Garcia,
I
Keith
even
Thurman,
mentioned Chris
Danny
Van
Garcia,
Heater.
Keith Thurman,
He
Danny
didn't have a
Garcia,
response for that.
Keith Thurman,
All he's telling
Danny
me is
Garcia,
hearsay.
Keith Thurman,
There is
Danny
no
Garcia,
body count
Keith
on the
Thurman,
up and up right
Danny
now
Garcia,
that you could sit
Keith
here and say
Thurman,
that Jaron Booth
Danny
Ennis
Garcia,
is
Keith
the new
Thurman,
Earl Spence.
Danny
You
Garcia,
can't.
Keith Thurman,
And don't give me no
Danny
damn Sergey
Garcia,
Lipinet
Keith
because that
Thurman,
don't count.
Danny Garcia,
Are
Keith
we going to
Thurman,
go by hearsay?
Danny
Are we going to go by
Garcia,
what you
Keith
guys are
Thurman,
saying? Or are we
Danny
going to go by
Garcia,
what's
Keith
actual
Thurman,
events?
Danny
There's
Garcia,
no actual
Keith
events.
Thurman,
There's no actual
Danny
record.
Garcia,
So if
Keith
we don't
Thurman,
got that,
Danny
then what are we
Garcia,
talking about here?
Keith Thurman,
Because
Danny
at the end of the
Garcia,
day, if we're
Keith
going to go by
Thurman,
your opinion,
Danny
everybody
Garcia,
got an opinion.
Keith Thurman,
Opinion's like an
Danny
asshole. Everybody
Garcia,
got one.
Keith
But
Thurman,
there's then the
Danny
truth.
Garcia, Keith
In the
Thurman,
truth, there's
Danny
nothing that
Garcia,
says that
Keith
Jaron
Thurman,
Booth Ennis
Danny Garcia,
has
Keith
anybody
Thurman,
on his body count
Danny
right
Garcia,
now that
Keith
you could
Thurman,
compare with Spence's
Danny
body
Garcia,
count prior to Chris
Keith
Algieri.
Thurman, Danny
He had
Garcia,
his chance with Chris
Keith
Van
Thurman,
Heater.
Danny
If
Garcia,
Jaron Booth Ennis wanted to
Keith
prove
Thurman,
himself, he
Danny
should have
Garcia,
properly retired Chris
Keith
Van
Thurman,
Heater. And he couldn't
Danny
fucking do
Garcia,
that. So we're
Keith
going to
Thurman,
compare that guy
Danny
with
Garcia,
Spence.
Keith
That's
Thurman,
the argument here.
Danny Garcia,
Don't get the
Keith
shit
Thurman,
twisted. We're talking about an
Danny
unproven
Garcia,
fighter.
Keith
And we're
Thurman,
trying to say that an
Danny
unproven
Garcia,
fighter is on the
Keith
same
Thurman,
level with a
Danny
guy on the
Garcia,
up and up that's been
Keith Thurman,
constantly doing work to
Danny
show that
Garcia,
he's special.
Keith Thurman,
That's a
Danny
whole different
Garcia,
ballgame.
Keith Thurman,
And
Danny
until
Garcia,
y'all could give me
Keith
something in the
Thurman,
comment section,
Danny
then
Garcia,
let's talk. Because
Keith
everybody's
Thurman,
just basically
Danny
double
Garcia,
talking
Keith
or
Thurman,
using the cues that I use.
Danny
He's
Garcia,
unproven,
Keith
but he's
Thurman,
ready to fight Bud
Danny
Assist. What the fuck is
Garcia,
that?
Keith
What
Thurman,
does that even mean?
Danny
That
Garcia,
doesn't mean nothing.
Keith Thurman,
Again,
Danny
what
Garcia,
Mighty Brown proved
Keith Thurman,
when he did the title
Danny Garcia,
was basically
Keith Thurman,
him trying to get
Danny
views
Garcia,
and trying to get
Keith
subs. And I'm
Thurman,
going to hold my
Danny
position on that.
Garcia,
And y'all
Keith
went with it.
Thurman,
That's
Danny
all that is.
Garcia, Keith Thurman,
We got
Danny
round one
Garcia,
going from Chris
Keith
Van
Thurman,
Heater. I
Danny
brought up that
Garcia,
point,
Keith
and
Thurman,
Monty Brown still couldn't
Danny
counter it. He
Garcia,
gave you all that little
Keith
slithering
Thurman,
snake right
Danny
around it,
Garcia,
playing
Keith
interviews.
Thurman,
That's some
Danny
slick shit.
Garcia,
Anybody can play
Keith
interviews.
Thurman, Danny Garcia,
But where is
Keith
the
Thurman,
tangible proof
Danny
to
Garcia,
show that
Keith
Jaron Booth
Thurman,
Ennis is on
Danny
the same
Garcia,
level with Earl Spence?
Keith
He
Thurman,
couldn't even give you
Danny
guys that.
Garcia,
See, there's
Keith
facts,
Thurman,
and then there's an
Danny
opinion.
Garcia,
And what Mighty
Keith
Brown's been
Thurman,
giving you guys
Danny
ain't
Garcia,
nothing but opinion.
Keith
And
Thurman,
that's just the fact.
Danny Garcia, We back, man. I
All we
apologize
got
about
with
that,
Jaron
y'all.
Boots is bum bashing. That's all we got.
Now,
You back
I'm
now?
back, y'all. My bad, y'all. I
Okay,
heard this
good.
man. This man steady trying to take Chris Van Herdy and make Chris Van Herdy the motherfucking top-notch killer. Dude, Jaron Boots Ennis was beating the fuck out of Chris Van Herdy in that first round.
So
That
what
man
happened to the fight?
wait a minute,
What was the result?
stop.
What was the result?
Stop, bro. Stop. He was beating the fuck out of Chris Van Herdy. Now,
What was
you
the
talking about
result?
bum bashing.
What was
You
the
talking about
result?
bum bashing. Bro, cut that bullshit out. That's why I say it's people like you that can't get
What
credit.
was the
That can't
result,
get
Monty
credit
Brown?
where credit is
Monty
due.
Brown, what was the result?
That can't
It's
get
not how
credit
you
where
start,
credit
it's
is
how
due.
you
All right,
finish.
stop, bro. Stop. I'm talking, bro. This man right here, he can't give credit where credit is due. We talking about Chris Van Herdy, bro. Errol was beating the fuck out of Chris Van Herdy, just like Jaron Boots Ennis would have beat the fuck out of Chris Van Herdy. Nigga, Chris Van Herdy ain't no motherfucking top-notch quality fighter. What the fuck is you talking about? Then when we look at the situation, family, he talking about I did that for clicks and views. No, I did that because Jaron Boots Ennis is in the same motherfucking position Errol Spence is in, and it's gonna be hard for that kid to get a fight with one of these top cats. You understand
But
what
you
I'm
still
saying?
ain't proving it.
And
You
now,
still
and
ain't
now,
tell me
and
nothing
now,
in his boxing record that
stop
proves
it,
it.
bro. Stop it, because like I said, leading up to fucking Chris Algieri, don't make it like Errol Spence had the biggest motherfucking resume out there. Cut that bullshit out. And
But
that's why
just
I hate
because
you.
you said, Monty Brown, let me
That's
just
why,
say this real
stop,
quick.
I'm
Let me
talking,
just say
bro.
this real quick.
No, I'm talking,
Let me
bro. I'm
just say this
talking.
real quick. Let
I'm
me just
talking.
say
I'm
this real
talking.
quick.
Nah, bro, no.
Let me
Because
just say this real quick.
you can go next, bro.
No, let me just say this real quick. I
It's
just want to
like
make this
you.
quick point.
It
Let
don't
me just
catch
make
like
this quick
you.
point. Quick point.
Points. No, I'm making my points.
Just because
It's on
you
cats
said
like
all the way
you.
up to Chris
It's
Algieri,
on cats like
he
you,
could beat
bro.
these cats. Have he
Come
done
on,
it?
bro. It's on cats like you, bro, that don't know how to get credit where credit is due.
I'm only going to give credit when
Because
it's justified.
y'all sitting up here talking about, oh, Monnie Brown, he still haven't shown. We talking about a motherfucking Chris Van Herdy. Nigga, you talking like we talking about a motherfucking Sean Porter or a Keith Thurman. We talking about a Chris Van Herdy. Motherfucker never been a world champion.
Chris Van Heerden
Motherfucker
was
never fought.
23-1 when Spence fought him.
Motherfucker never fought in a world championship
He
fight.
was 23-1 when
So
Spence fought him.
when we looking at the situation, right? When we looking at this shit, y'all, who's the true Earl resume better than Buzz? We're not talking about Buzz and none of that, bro. But right on for the super chat, bro. Who's the for? But now we looking at this shit, bro. We talking about Chris Van Herdy. If we all look at that fight and we all look at Jaron Boots Ennis, the way he was laying gloves and hands on Chris Van Herdy, he wasn't going past 3 rounds. Wasn't going past 3 rounds. That's why Jaron Boots Ennis got to come back and face Sergey Lipinets for what? The same IBO title that he was going to fight Chris Van Herdy for. Now, when we look at this situation, y'all, everybody keep this in mind. Go look at Errol Spence. If y'all don't just go for what I'm saying, family. You know what I mean? Go look at Errol Spence's resume before the Chris Algieri fight. Go look at the Jaron Boots Ennis resume before the fucking Sergey Lipinets fight, and tell me if you see something fucking outstanding on their goddamn resumes. Because you're not going to see it, family. You're not. They was out there.
How are you not going to see anything outstanding?
Come on, man. Stop.
How?
Let me finish, bro. They were showcasing their skills, right? They both was putting on great fucking performances. But when you look at the names, you don't even remember them motherfuckers. So let's stop playing games and semantics here. When we look at Jaron Boots Ennis, everybody, Jaron Boots Ennis is a top 10 welterweight now. He's in position. The man took on, what's the dude's name? I have to go look it up. He took on somebody just like Errol Spence took on Chris Van Herdy, right? He took on somebody that I think had one loss or probably was undefeated. But when you look at these fighters, they are the fucking favorites. Errol Spence was the favorite over these dudes. Jaron Boots Ennis is the favorite over these dudes, right? So if you tell me Errol Spence fought a 50-50 fight leading up to Chris, and Chris wasn't even a 50-50, just like Jaron Boots Ennis leading up to fucking Sergey Lipinets wasn't a 50-50. So I'm not sitting up here trying to listen to these dudes, trying to, this, that, and the third, the praises and all that. At the end of the day, family, Jaron Boots Ennis' skill set is his skill set. Jaron Boots Ennis is a bad motherfucker inside that square circle, right? Everybody giving him his praise and his just dues. You feel me? It's only cats that live in their fucking minds that don't know how to do that shit, but everybody getting this kid his praise and his just dues. You understand what I'm saying? And it's going to take him some time, or he might get a title shot before Earl. But right now, the position he's in, being a high risk, low reward, is going to be tough for him to get a world championship fight with those people because he was in the same position Earl Spence was in, high risk, low reward. You don't bring that much money to the table, right? Your skill set is dominant. You understand me? And people fear that if they get into the ring with you, they go get their ass beat or they go lose that fight, and you got everything to gain and nothing to lose. Now, go ahead. He knows. Wrap it up. Give me your last thoughts, your last comments, and we're gonna get ready and get up out of here.
All right. Bottom line is, so what you saying again is hearsay. There's nothing that you said that showcases that there's anything on this man's resume that shows that this guy is the new Earl Spence. Chris Van Heater is very valid and important to bring up because when Spence fought Chris Van Heater, he was 23-1. He was a guy to be reckoned with, and Spence wrecked him. This same Chris Van Heater, and fast forward so many years later, if Jaron Booth Ennis was what you said he was, notice I keep using that because that one you can't counter that. You got to go around it. Chris, he didn't get the job done. He did not ruin Chris Van Heater. I don't want to hear in the early rounds that I know that you're telling me he was fucking him up, which I did see the fight. He was fucking him up. But what was the end result? Did he damage him? No. Did Spence damage him? Yes. That's a fundamental difference. And that's something you can't get past. Once again, all you prove is your fanship for Jaron Booth Ennis. That's it. You fanboying for him. And that's okay. A lot of people fanboying for Jaron Booth Ennis. But that don't mean fanboying for Jaron Booth Ennis puts him on the same level with Earl the Two Spence. He's not the Earl Spence. He's Jaron Booth Ennis. You can't compare somebody with another person until they do something that's identical to what that person did. Jaron Booth Ennis ain't done nothing identical. All he's going by is you guys saying that he's flashy. Well, when I look at Jaron Booth Ennis, you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of a Roy Jones Jr. gone wrong. Because Roy Jones Jr., flashy, strong, throw his punches, basically make his opponents look bad. But you know what's the difference between Roy Jones Jr. and Jaron Booth Ennis? Roy Jones was special at what he did. Jaron Booth Ennis is that version gone wrong. That's more the likening and the comparison that you could compare him with. But to compare him with Spence, a technician, a fundamental fighter, a guy that picks you apart, a guy that breaks you down with an accumulation of punishment, they're not even the same style of fighter. They don't fight the same. There's nothing about them that's identical. And Jaron Booth Ennis keeps his hands down. There's no mid guard. There's no low guard. There's no high guard. We know Spence stay in the high guard. Spence is defensively responsible. That shit that you see Jaron Booth Ennis doing against them bum bashers, if he fights guys on higher levels, they pick his ass apart. Hands down, man down. I mean, it's really that simple. So you gonna keep your position erroneously, and you're gonna say that Jaron Booth Ennis is the new Earl Spence, but you didn't prove none of that. All you prove is that you fanboying for him. All you proven is that you think he's that, but there's no actual record and no actual account that proves that he is the new Earl Spence. There's a reason why they call it the Spence era, because Spence has done enough in his body count from day one leading up until now to where he's earned an era coined by Richard Schaefer. When we get a guy like a Richard Schaefer level, coin Jaron Booth Ennis the era, then come talk to me. That's how you know he's the new Earl Spence. He got to get an era coin. He ain't done none of that. So let's not sit here and compare somebody, even on the up and up, with somebody else when they haven't done what the other person did prior to them on the up and up to say that they're on the level. And then you brought up a point. Jaron Booth Ennis will wash any of those opponents that Earl Spence fought leading up to Chris Algieri. How the fuck do you know that? You got a crystal ball? You got? You know that? Putting him in the ring with any one of those opponents, he watches them, or you going by your fanboying for Jaron Booth Ennis? Which one is it? Because Spence fought these guys, and we know what Spence did against these guys. But with Jaron Booth Ennis, he didn't fight these guys. So again, the same point holds what it holds. It's all hearsay, dog, from day one. That's the argument. So you didn't prove to me by any stretch of the imagination that Jaron Booth Ennis is the new Earl Spence. Even the people in the comment section, not the ones fanboying for you, the ones that were speaking the truth, said that Jaron Booth Ennis is unproven, which is my point. An unproven guy doesn't deserve to have the title of the new Earl Spence. And if you're going by high risk, low reward, that ain't enough. You got to have that, and then you got to have and then some. Because you comparing him with Spence. We ain't talking about comparing him with Dennis Ugas. We're comparing him with Spence. That can't just be enough for you to make your justification and make your comparison. Because what that does, it gives Jaron Booth Ennis false acclaim, and it gives him false notoriety, trying to compare him with a guy that's actually done things leading up to this point to deserve his position. Once again, all you prove is hearsay. You didn't prove nothing. And I rest my case on that.
Now, let me get my closing thoughts on this and we go get up out of here, fam. This man, like I say, he go everywhere else, here, there, every fucking where. When did I ever say Jaron and fucking Earl fight the same on the same level? You see what I'm saying? You see, when you whooping their ass, they gotta try to find some shit. When did I ever become a fanboy of Jaron Ennis? Right? I said Jaron Ennis loses to Earl Spence and turns Boy Crawford, and he's gonna have a hard time with Danny and fucking Keith Thurman. What I always say, when you're not the fastest, when you're not the smartest, when you're not the strongest, you got to show us adjustments. So when you come out here and you try to make up some shit, it just shows you that you got your ass whooped left, right, up, and down. So when we sitting up here,
Now they make up nothing.
I said, man, you've been making up shit all day. Now, all right, you just rest your case. Your case is closed, done, and finished, homie. Close your briefcase up. So now, when this man is set up here, right, and said that $10 million was offered to fight Earl Spence, that was false. The man said I'm fanboying, that was false, right? The man said I'm doing this shit for clicks and views, that was false. So when we sit up here and we're looking at the position that Earl Spence was in coming up, we're looking at the position that Jaron Booth Ennis in that's coming up. It's the same fucking position, no matter how you want to slice and dice it. What he trying to say is, oh, Earl Spence, you know, this Earl is my guy. Fuck with him heavy. We gonna continue to ride for him. We go get him out here. We go get the interview going with Earl Spence. Y'all stay tuned for the Earl Spence interview. And like I told, he knows the sport. I'm gonna ask Earl Spence this exact question when I get his black ass on here. But when we sitting up here and we looking at Jaron Booth Ennis and we looking at the skill set of Jaron Booth Ennis and we see that Jaron Booth Ennis is a bad motherfucker with the hands, because I'm an eye test guy, right? And when I see skills, I know skills. I know, and I know y'all know fucking skills and talent. You feel me? Y'all know skills and talent. And when this man continued to try to use Chris Van Herding, first he tried to use Chris Algieri until I shut that shit down. Then he came trying to use Chris Van Herding. It's crazy.
You didn't shut it down.
Now he tried to use the two Chris's to make his point, and both of the Chris's got their ass whooped. So this man using Chris Van Herding as a fucking big dog status, saying he will, oh, if you put that Chris Van Herding up on Earl Spence in there, with Jaron Booth Ennis, it'll be a different story. I still think Jaron Booth Ennis, looking at the skill set right now, looking at Chris Van Herding's skill set back then, Jaron Booth Ennis will still beat his ass, just like he's fit to beat his ass in the first fight. And my man say it's blasphemy to say that Spence. I never said that Spence haven't fought nobody. I said when you look at the names, they went.
Thank you. Like Thank you. You see what I'm saying? Hey, you getting countered, dog. You getting countered.
Stop. Man. Let me finish. You done. They want big names like that. So when we're looking at the situation, bro, Jaron Booth Ennis and Earl Spence on the rise, they fighting, right? Competition that you go beat their ass and look good against, because you're trying to get to the big fucking names and to the big dogs. You understand me? So when you're working your way up the ladder and you whooping ass like they was whooping ass, Earl Spence running through motherfuckers, stopping them. Jaron Boots Ennis running through motherfucking stopping him. This man say Jaron Boots Ennis is a Roy Jones going wrong. If that ain't hate, I don't know what. Because what it sounds like from he knows, he got a lot of hate for Jaron Boots Ennis, and that's a fact. Because he can't get credit where credit is due. If you go ask Roy Jones, I mean the guy we talking about, Errol Spence, Floyd Money Mayweather, they all get Jaron Boots Ennis his praises. But for some other people, I guess they know more than them. You feel me? So what he knows is saying he know more than Floyd, he know more than Earl, right? And Jaron Boots Ennis ain't gonna get there. So I'm leaving with this, family. Boots is the motherfucker next Errol Spence Jr. because he's not going to get a title shot no time soon. He's not going to get them one of them top fighters no time soon unless they come with the money, and they ain't coming with the money. You see how they finna put him in there with goddamn what's my man Custio Clayton, because they not about to put him in there with Dennis Ugas. What Ugas say? No, Mr. Postman, not gonna happen. I'm not facing his ass because the paycheck ain't gonna be the same. The paycheck ain't gonna be the same. And if Ugas do get in there with him, I salute the fuck out of him. But I don't think it's gonna happen. So Boots, ESJ coming up because he knows gonna run with this. Money Brown said he the same that Earl Spence did the heavy lifting. We talking about coming up or in the same position, family. In the same position. And I do got
at the end of the day, Money Brown, you gave your hearsay.
You done, my brother. That's it for you. At the end of the day, right? I proved more points than this man. Jaron Boots Ennis is the next Errol Spence, right? And I do believe Jaron Boots Ennis will be a world champion in the future. From me looking at his skill set and me looking at Errol Spence's skill set, the way I felt about Earl coming up, I said that boy gonna be a world champion. I see the same thing with Jaron Boots Ennis. That boy gonna be a world champion. And hopefully, when he do become a world champion, people like he knows his sports, get that man his just due and stop hating on that man. Until then, y'all, this your boy Monnie. This the NSBC moving. Ain't nobody safe in these streets. Hit them thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you want to donate. OG Money on Cash App. TreyHampton52@gmail.com on PayPal. If not, just tell a friend. Hit the subscribe button. Like, comment, share the video. And y'all know how your boy get down, man. Big dog status, family. Peace out.
Hey, Monnie, let me just say this real quick. It ain't even about Spence and Jaron Boots Ennis. At the end of the day, I like the fact that we went back and forth and we talked about it. You held your position. I held my position. Bottom line is this. You gave your hearsay. I gave my talk. It is what it is. Now, all Jaron Boots Ennis got to go out there is prove what he need to prove. If he prove what he can prove that can match with Spence, then I'll talk that talk that you talking. But until then, I can't go by hearsay, bro. But at the end of the day, I appreciate you having me on the platform. You know it's all love. You the homie. You ate your L, but we all good, bro.
Boy, you got your ass beat left and right, up and down, all around. All right, y'all have a safe one out there, man. And she say, I just got her what's going on. Oh, man, Roberto, you got to go back and watch the replay, bro. We've been going for 2 hours on the debate. You missed out, homie. I got to get up off here for this Wi-Fi cut off on my ass, and then I won't be able to post this thing. But y'all have a good one, man. Much love, much appreciated. Thank you to everybody that donated, too. I appreciate that. And go subscribe to my brother, Everything Boxing and Sports. Everything Boxing and Sports. Y'all go show him some love. But we out of here, man. We out of here.